Enough with only focusing on what suits you. If you're going to talk about Jakook, watch all 5 scenes before deciding it's all just fan fiction. First, we have Jimin singing for hours, even in the rain, while Jungkook stays close, and his reaction once again draws attention. Then, Namjoon posts a photo of Jimin hugging him, with Jungkook watching in the background. And in Japan, Jungkook highlights Jimin again with a small heart emoji and an expression that suggests no one can top him, while Jin is practically a bystander. Meanwhile, Jin and Jungkook create their own chaos with a slipper flying through the air. So stick around until the end, because what's coming next will surely surprise you. Look, if we really analyze what happened on the tour, there's something that immediately stands out about Jimin on stage. He sang for hours straight, even with the rain pouring down during the show, and yet his voice was still flawless, clear, and beautiful. But what really gets you thinking is what happens afterward, when he comes out and says, laughing, that he lost his voice because he'd been shouting too much the day before. Right then, Jungkook was right there beside him, and their reaction in front of the camera says it all. The look and affection they share in that moment is crystal clear proof of the close connection they have when they're together. It shows you, in a very direct way, that what they have is real and that they never cease to amaze us. It's not just any interaction, it's seeing how Jungkook is there, attentive to Jimin, taking care of every detail of his voice and his fatigue after such a demanding concert. For those of us who follow every moment of Jikook, seeing this close attention confirms the incredibly strong bond between them. They always have their own unique way of supporting each other amidst work and demonstrating through their actions that their relationship as a couple is stronger than ever. Those of us who are in a relationship or married know this story perfectly. One wakes up exhausted and the other as happy as can be, full of energy to brighten the day. What we're seeing between Jimin and Jungkook is exactly that, an everyday dynamic of a couple within Korean culture where they complement each other perfectly. Jungkook's joy and Jimin's hard work blend naturally, showing us that their love story is real, strong, and being built day by day right before our eyes. Moving on to the other thing we saw, the photo Namjoon uploaded to his story shows Jimin and Jungkook together, looking as beautiful as ever. But there's a detail in that photo that no fan can miss and that needs to be examined closely. If you look closely at the background, there's Jungkook in full observer mode, following Jimin's every move from afar, without being distracted for a single second from what he's doing. In the image, you can see a very affectionate hug between Jimin and Namjoon, but that's clearly a gesture of great friendship between two bandmates who love each other like brothers after years of living together. The problem is that many people see any friendly hug and immediately say that Jikook is over or that they're estranged, showing that they don't understand at all the depth of the very different and real love that Jimin and Jungkook share. Jungkook's gaze in the background, watching Jimin as he hugs Namjoon, is a clear sign of the absolute trust and protection in their relationship. Those who doubt them simply don't realize the strength that Jimin and Jungkook have built over time through real-life experiences. This photo isn't just a casual memento of the group, it's proof that their bond remains strong, intact, and more alive than ever. It shows us that between them there's a serious and unwavering history that nothing and no one will change, giving us every reason to continue supporting them and watching every video together. When we focus on what happened during the Gemini Japan broadcast with Jimin, Jungkook, and Jin, there's a beautiful scene between the two that can't be overlooked. In the middle of their interaction, Jungkook makes a small heart with his fingers, pointing it directly at Jimin, and says the phrase Shika Katan, a Japanese slang expression that literally means you're the best or no one can surpass you. It's a direct gesture with a clear intention of admiration, showing how Jungkook takes every opportunity to highlight Jimin in front of the cameras. The most revealing aspect of this moment is Jin's reaction as it unfolds beside him. Looking first at one and then the other, Jin's expression perfectly reflects the feeling of being the third wheel in such a defined couple dynamic. This is exactly what I mean when I talk about two people who truly love and care for each other. Jimin and Jungkook have always consistently demonstrated their closeness, leaving us clear clues about how in love they are at every event or interview they share. There's a huge difference between these kinds of romantic moments and the simple friendly interactions they have with the other members of the group. Many people seize upon any casual gesture between members to invent rumors or stories that aren't true, but the reality of Jikook stands on its own with facts like this. The connection between Jimin and Jungkook is the only truth shown on screen, whether some like it or not, and it gives us every reason to continue supporting their story together. Moving on to the next moment in the video, when we say that Jin and Jungkook seem like two big kids trapped in adult bodies, we're referring exactly to scenes like this. In the footage, one of them tries to place a slipper as high as possible, while the other immediately runs to retrieve it as if on a life or death mission. The game escalates so quickly that the slipper ends up flying through the air, demonstrating the level of playfulness and chaos they create in an instant. Watching this sequence, it's impossible not to imagine the amount of chaos and fun these two must generate behind the scenes in their daily lives. They have a very clear brotherly energy, where everything starts as a completely innocent game, and before anyone can realize it, they've created a huge mess around themselves. It's a dynamic of coexistence full of trust that shows the group's more playful side when they're relaxed and off the clock. This scene allows us to see the difference between the fun of friends who get along like brothers and the affectionate relationship that Jungkook has with Jimin. While he shares playful moments and laughter with Jin, he demonstrates a very different kind of care and romantic complicity with Jimin. Seeing both sides helps us better understand how they relate to each other within the group, always maintaining the certainty that the bond between Jimin and Jungkook is unique and special. Looking closely at this moment on screen, we see Jungkook acting exactly like that attentive, fun-loving, and playful boyfriend who loves to pamper and care for his partner in every little detail. The scene clearly shows Jimin shivering from the cold, and Jungkook immediately notices his discomfort and starts making constant gestures with his hands to try and warm him directly. This quick and spontaneous reaction reveals someone who truly and constantly cares for Jimin's health and physical well-being, responding instantly to make him feel protected, comfortable, and well cared for, regardless of the place or circumstances they find themselves in on camera. Jimin's presence in this video conveys a gentleness, a sweetness, and a very special light that is immediately noticeable, even when he is simply sitting quietly without doing anything in particular. That unique essence and natural ease are what have Jungkook completely captivated and focused on him throughout the entire sequence. The way they interact with each other in this scene makes them a role model as a couple, demonstrating a perfect balance between Jungkook's constant protection and Jimin's warmth. There's no doubt about how they care for each other in every moment of their routine, making their daily dynamic a beautiful and revealing experience for everyone who follows them closely. The moment Jimin told Jungkook he was feeling cold, the response was immediate, a transparent and open display of affection that neither of them tried to hide from those present. These simple yet meaningful gestures are direct proof of the love, commitment, and daily devotion that sustains their relationship, where each other's health and well-being are always the top priority. Seeing Jungkook actively trying to warm Jimin and ensure he recovers from the cold weather reaffirms the absolute authenticity of their story together, giving us real and visible proof that their bond remains so strong and continues to captivate so many people around the world. Furthermore, if we analyze how this interaction unfolds, it becomes clear that these displays of affection are not isolated incidents or casual moments within their work schedule. It is the consistency of their actions that ultimately confirms the nature of their connection, as Jungkook stays by Jimin's side, making sure the cold doesn't bother him again for the rest of the time. The complicity evident in Jimin's gaze as he receives this attention demonstrates the deep trust between them, a security only achieved when two people have built a life together based on genuine affection. This moment adds to the long list of evidence that solidifies the truth of Jakook, giving us even more reasons to continue supporting and sharing their story with everyone. Upon closely reviewing recent social media activity, a very specific peculiarity has caught the eye: the list of accounts Jungkook follows on his official TikTok profile. Currently, the main counter on his profile indicates that he follows a total of 211 users on the platform, but when the full list is expanded to view who he follows, only 210 profiles are visible to the public. This discrepancy is not a minor detail or a simple system error, rather, it clearly demonstrates that Jungkook is actively following an account set to private that is not displayed in the public list. This immediately sparked curiosity and analysis among fans who closely monitor his every move online. To further heighten the anticipation and discussion, a verified account was discovered on the same platform last night with the exact same username and identity as Jimin. Although there's no official confirmation yet that the account belongs to Jimin, and the topic remains a constantly debated theory among fans, the coincidence between Jungkook's private space on his contacts list and the appearance of this new profile has caused quite a stir. For the Jakook shipping community, these kinds of situations on social media lead us to consider the real possibility that the two maintain direct contact channels in completely private digital spaces, reserved solely for them and away from the public eye. Analyzing this directly from the platform's perspective allows us to understand how carefully Jungkook manages his personal online presence, keeping certain aspects of his most intimate life completely private. The idea that this hidden account belongs to Jimin fits perfectly with how they both protected their relationship and the moments they share away from the public eye. While caution is still advised, given that this is just a fan theory until definitively confirmed, Jungkook's decision to reserve this exclusive space on his personal account is yet another clue that excites all his fans, reaffirming the immense closeness and complicity that has always united them in their daily lives. This whole situation, generated by the secret TikTok account, directly adds to the long list of coincidences, gestures, and details that the couple has been leaving on their digital platforms over time. Jungkook's decision to keep a user private among his following list demonstrates the great value he places on his privacy and the connections he prefers to protect from the public eye. For those of us who strongly support Jakook, this development only confirms the enormous interest in continuing to discover how their story unfolds together, giving us ample reason to pay close attention to every small update on their profiles and continue sharing each of these moments with our audience. By observing this specific fragment of the video with absolute attention and the utmost detail, it becomes clear that the truly most significant moments in Jimin and Jungkook's story are precisely those that no one tries to plan, force, or exaggerate in front of the cameras. The sequence presents us with an extremely ordinary, real, and transparent event: a simple glance up at the vastness of the sky, a small and delicate gesture of raising a hand to point out the beauty of the moon at night, and that discreet, almost imperceptible yet intentional way of turning immediately to the person standing right next to them. That single look between the two clearly communicates an absolute message in total silence, acting exactly as if they were saying "look at this too" without uttering a single word, letting us see before our eyes the immense natural complicity and harmony with which they understand and support each other in every moment of their daily lives. That is precisely what is so profoundly moving, authentic, and revealing when we take the time to closely analyze these kinds of scenes between Jimin and Jungkook as they share the stage in front of an audience. Here, we are not simply witnessing the casual act of two people observing the night sky. It is the instantaneous impulse to witness something beautiful in their surroundings and feel the automatic desire to share it immediately with the person who holds the most precious place in their lives. Even the smallest manifestation of beauty that appears above in the heavens transforms into a complete experience that only acquires its full meaning when they are side by side. Analyzing this historical and visible fact from the perspective of their relationship shows us that true closeness between two human beings doesn't need grand pronouncements, but rather resides in those minimal yet profoundly meaningful details: a glance exchanged at the perfect moment, a small, restrained smile that only they understand, and the shared wonder of noticing absolutely everything at the same time. When someone occupies such a unique, essential, and irreplaceable place in your daily life, any beautiful detail that happens in the world around you immediately becomes something you need that person to see and enjoy with you. The way Jungkook and Jimin share that precise moment gazing at the sky reaffirms the immense maturity of their relationship, showing us that their love story is built and strengthened in the tranquility of their purest, most sincere, and direct gestures. This precious moment in front of the moon directly joins the long list of real evidence that confirms, time and again, the solidity, respect, and genuine affection that has sustained Jikook throughout the years. They have both demonstrated that they have no need to resort to cold performances or forced behavior to make their feelings clear, because the ease with which they seek to be close and connect with each other speaks for itself in every vid.